Welcome to this video about SEN support. What is SEN support? The great majority of pupils listed on the SEN register in mainstream schools do not have an education, health and care plan. The support that is in place for these pupils is called SEN support. SEN support is support that is additional to and different from the support generally made for other pupils of the same age. SEN support does not include adaptive, high-quality teaching strategies or reasonable adjustments that are implemented in lessons, but does include interventions. What is an SEN support intervention? Within the SEN graduated approach, an intervention is a targeted and time-limited form of support which is additional to class-based high-quality teaching and reasonable adjustments. That is, the support that is additional to classroom strategies, more personalised classroom differentiation, and the provision of ordinarily available equipment, resources, and assessment modifications in regular lessons. Sometimes interventions can take place within regular lessons, reducing withdrawal time and maximising the opportunities for the pupil to transfer or link their knowledge and skills. Some interventions need to take place away from regular lessons and can be scheduled during school time or as part of the extended school day, for example, early mornings and in the afternoon. Triggers for considering putting in place interventions. It is important to ensure that you have the regular opportunity to scrutinise routinely available progress data for pupils with SEN, with the use of robust data tracking tools and supported by pupil progress monitoring systems. The key aims of this work are to quickly pick up concerns around fairly small steps progress and to identify inconsistent profiles of performance. Additional sources of evidence include pupil work samples, specific assessment data, for example tests, behaviour and engagement data and information, and views provided by the pupil and their parents during meetings. Good interventions. A good intervention typically has the following features. Pupils are in small groups or one-to-one. Teaching is structured, cumulative, and multisensory. The delivery is confident, effective, and consistent. The pupil governs the pace of delivery. The pupil's learning style is taken into account. The specific needs of the pupil are met. The session is manageable for the school. Sessions are delivered at regular intervals. Skills are transferred to the classroom. Progress is reviewed at regular intervals. The pupil's progress is tracked. The pupil enjoys the learning and feels motivated. And confidence and self-esteem are improved. Organising and resourcing SEN support interventions. Coordinating interventions, particularly in advance of the next school year, requires careful planning. This includes consideration of interventions that are already in place in the school, possibly coordinated by pastoral staff, which may be appropriate for pupils with SEN. Access to a budget or funding stream for staffing and resources. Maintaining and updating, if necessary, clear pupil suitability or entitlement criteria for interventions that you are overseeing as part of SEN support provision. For example, the key aim of the intervention, the year group, key stage, etc. Maintaining a list of all interventions and all key details on a whole school SEN or integrated provision map. The booking of rooms within the school for the interventions not taking place within lessons, and the scheduling and staffing arrangements. Interventions and making the best use of TAs. What the evidence tells us. 1. Based on extensive Education Endowment Fund research evidence regarding TA deployment for interventions, the focus should be on retaining access to high-quality teaching, for example by delivering brief but intensive structured interventions. Further, research on TAs delivering targeted interventions in one-to-one or small group settings shows a consistent impact on attainment of approximately 3 to 4 additional months' progress. Crucially, these positive effects are only observed when TAs work in structured settings with high-quality support and training. When TAs are deployed in more informal, unsupported instructional roles, they can impact negatively on pupils' learning outcomes. Interventions and making the best use of TAs. What the evidence tells us too. The EEF advises that sessions are often brief, 20 to 50 minutes, occur regularly, for example 3 to 5 times per week, and are maintained over a sustained period, 8 to 20 weeks. Careful timetabling is in place to enable this consistent delivery. TAs receive extensive training from experienced trainers and/or teachers, 5 to 30 hours per intervention. The intervention has structured supporting resources and lesson plans with clear objectives. TAs closely follow the plan and the structure of the intervention. Assessments are used to identify appropriate pupils, guide areas for focus, and track pupil progress. Effective interventions ensure the right support is being provided to the right pupil. And connections are made between the out-of-class learning in the intervention and classroom teaching. We will consider this in a moment. Intervention records. Ensure that there are very clear and manageable systems for staff to efficiently maintain and share records of work with pupils in each intervention. This should include the name of the intervention and key details, dates, times and lengths of sessions, the names of the pupils accessing the intervention and their key details, for example their year group, class, SEN status, etc., progress measures for each session, and notes that may need to be made. Setting and reviewing intervention targets. The aim of the intervention needs to be sharp, measurable, and time limited. For example, by the end of this intervention, the pupil will be able to. Likewise, in individual intervention sessions, a specific and challenging but achievable target or intention should be set for the pupils in each session. This should be reviewed and recorded efficiently on the intervention record. Making meaningful links between interventions and learning in lessons. As is the case for all interventions and pupils with any identified barriers to learning, it's important to maximise the impact of and learning points from interventions for pupils accessing SEN support. Interventions for these pupils should not be isolated from class-based teaching and support. They need to be linked. Consider, how can we make meaningful links between class-based routine assessments, identifying the need for specific interventions and planning them, the aims of interventions, the curriculum, and learning intentions in lessons, specific points of progress or milestones that the pupil has achieved in interventions and their academic progress, and learning points from interventions and class-based strategies for the pupil, including differentiation and reasonable adjustments. This is the end of this video. You can view more videos on this channel in the Bite-Size series, including other bite-sized SENCO videos.